It's finally summer here in England. Yes, believe it or not, we have actually had some nice and sunny days. So in this lesson, I thought it would only be right to share with you some things that us Brits love to say throughout summer. So as always, welcome back to GSL-English. My name is of course Gideon, and I'm here as always to help you speak natural, fluent and confident English. But in today's lesson, we're going to do something a little bit different. So I'm not necessarily going to give you some new specific vocabulary, expressions and idioms. No. I'm going to give you an insight into the way us Brits think throughout summer. Over the past few weeks, I've been asking my friends and family to think of comments that they always say throughout summer. Okay, so that is what I'm going to share with you. So you can understand how we think and feel during this time of year. Because you know, us Brits, we love to talk about the weather. So I'm going to share some common things you will hear Brits say throughout summer. Here is expression or thought number one that you will hear, and that is, where's the sun gone? Okay, yes, where's the sun gone? And this is something we end up saying a lot throughout summer because summer in England really just keeps on teasing us throughout the period of time that is supposed to be summer. We get some lovely days and we get ready for it. And often those lovely days happen whilst we are at work. So we're thinking, okay, this weekend I'm going to go to the beach. I'm going to lie in my garden. I'm going to sunbathe. But then when we actually get the opportunity to enjoy the sun, guess what happens? It's a cloudy day. So you step outside and you say, where's the sun gone? Are you joking? Or maybe you're outside, you get your barbecue set up, you've got your music playing, you've invited your friends over for an impromptu barbecue, and then the clouds come over. It turns grey. Where's the sun gone? So this is something we end up saying a lot throughout summer here in England because the sun comes out and then the clouds appear, chasing it down, and then it covers it for a couple of hours. And it's the most frustrating thing. And it always seems to happen when you finally get outside to enjoy the sun, clouds come over. So we say, where's the sun gone? Okay, the next expression that you'll most likely hear, I'm going to soak up the sun, or I'm going to soak up some sun. And if we think of a sponge, if we put a sponge in water, what does it do? Well, it soaks up the water, doesn't it? So when we say that we're going to soak up some sun, it means that we are going to absorb that vitamin D, those summer rays. We're going to soak up the sun. Now, this is something that I can do in very small doses. I don't like to go over the top with this. But some people, including my wife, they can sit out in the sun for hours and just soak it up like a sponge. And we do this in England because the sun is really such a rare thing. We wait for 6-7 months of the year to have that burning hot sun. So when we get it, we want to soak up as much of it as we can. So that is something you will definitely hear Brits say in summer. I'm going to soak up the sun. And following on from that last point, if we are sitting, soaking up the sun, we might make the statement that it's scorching. It's scorching. And basically, this is an adjective just to say that it is extremely hot, unbearably hot. And we actually had a day like this recently where it was too much. I don't know if that's me just being a Brit that's not used to the sun, but it was scorching. It was too much. If you think of the sun maybe scorching the grass, so the grass turns brown, that's what we are referring to. And we say this a lot. As a bonus point, we might say, it's a scorcher today. It's a scorcher today, meaning that the weather today is just generally very hot. It's a scorcher, or we can describe the weather as being scorching. Okay. This is one that I like to use and I say all the time, particularly when I'm at work. I might message my friends and say, it's a pub garden kind of afternoon. It's a pub garden kind of afternoon. Basically, that means that this particular afternoon, whilst the sun is out, we should be enjoying ourselves in the pub garden. Not necessarily drinking alcohol, but just soaking up the atmosphere, because a pub garden in the summer in England is a brilliant place. Often there's music playing, there's a great atmosphere, everybody is unbelievably happy because the sun is out. So sometimes it just feels like a pub garden kind of afternoon. It feels like that's where we should be. So often we will say this when we can't actually do that. So maybe we are at work. We're stuck in the office. Do you know what? I shouldn't be at work. It's a pub garden kind of afternoon. Almost like this should be illegal. I should be in a pub garden right now, not stuck at my desk at work. So there you go. There's another thing that you will hear us Brits say throughout summer. Another one that actually someone gave me, a good friend of mine said, something that we always seem to say is, it's going to be a hot one. It's going to be a hot one. So maybe you're having your coffee, you've stepped outside, you look up to the sun in the sky and you say, it's going to be a hot one today. Often we make that statement with no real basis or technological backing. Just by our own determination, it's going to be a hot one. So you might be having your cup of coffee or your cup of tea and you go back to your family. It's going to be a hot one today. It's going to be a hot one today. Basically, you are making the statement, often in hope and optimism that it will actually be a hot one or a good day's weather. We're going to get a real summer's day. It's going to be a hot one. Another thing, you'll hear Brits say, my mother said this to me all the time, make sure you wear some sun cream. Make sure you wear some sun cream. Now, sun cream is what you put on your skin to stop you from burning. And being fair-headed, like myself, meaning that I have quite light-coloured hair, I'm ginger, I burn very easily. So one thing that my mother always used to say to me is, Gideon, make sure you put on some sun cream. Make sure you put on some sun cream. And you kind of end up saying this to everybody. Make sure you wear sun cream. Often feeling that we need to give friendly advice to everybody in the sun. Just as a note, in American English, they will refer to sun cream as sunscreen. So it's the same thing. But yeah, sun cream is essential, particularly for the Brits, because we are notoriously bad for burning. We're known for it, and particularly, it's very dangerous actually, but when it is a nice summer's day, everybody pours to the coast, to the beach, and then the hospitals are filled with people that have got quite severe burns from the sun because our skin's just not used to it. So sun cream is really a great business to be in throughout summer. But yeah, you'll hear that a lot. Make sure you're wearing some sun cream. And finally, the last one that I wanted to present to you, it's something that I say every year when it's really hot. Well, not every year. If we get a good summer, I say this, we need a paddling pool. We need a paddling pool. What is a paddling pool? Well, a paddling pool is basically often inflatable little swimming pool that you can fill up with water, maybe half a foot or a foot deep, and just splash around in it. Often they're made for kids, but as adults, they are great in summer. There was one summer which was unbelievably hot. If you are living in England, you might remember it. I think it was 2021 or 22. It was so hot that the grass was just completely brown, and I basically lived in a paddling pool. It was the only place to cool down. So they're often not that big. You can get them quite cheap down the shop, 50, 60 quid. Some people go crazy and they buy basically a swimming pool. But when we talk about a paddling pool, it's a little swimming pool that you can just paddle around in. So this is something that I say every summer, we need a paddling pool. I was actually very upset when that summer that I was talking about, I enjoyed my paddling pool and then it burst at the end of summer. And it was kind of a ceremonial sign that summer was over for me. So yeah, very sad about that. And I do need to replace my paddling pool. But there you go. There are some things that I just wanted to share with you about how us Brits think throughout summer. Little insights into our culture. As I said, these aren't necessarily vocabulary and idioms and expressions that you can take away, but it just gives you a little insight into our English summers. So yeah, there you go. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that more relaxed lesson today, and I will see you all very soon. Have a good one, guys.